Yo, what's going on, guys? Shake and Bake back. Yes, today we're gonna be looking at some this is the base ultimate base roster modded NBA 2K14 PC. So unfortunately the graphics aren't that crazy, but we're using Jabari Parker on the Bucks, which I love. It actually looks like him. It plays decently like him. The stats are somewhat right, but it's a pretty nice thing. I like this ultimate base roster mod. I'll have the link to it down below as always, but I'm also going to be talking about some other things that I have the link down below too. This is a story that actually just broke about a half hour ago. It's now confirmed. It's official. Everything's gone down. So I figured I'd talk about it because, I mean, it's kind of a crazy situation. It happened last year, but this kind of stuff, I don't know why it's happening so frequently, I guess, over the past couple of years. But as Jabari Parker gets the hand in his face and still knocks it down, I love playing with him, man. I cannot wait for next year to get him on next gen in 2K15. It is going to be so awesome. But let me talk about the story at hand. And this is actually Jason Kidd, yes. And the Bucks have acquired him via a trade for 2 future second-round picks. They wanted to get a first, but they could not. The Nets were not budging on that part. As Jabari Parker grabs the steal, you know he's taking this coast to coast for the and1. I love that play, man. Jabari Parker, he plays awesome on this mod, man. He's on fire right now, and he's going to keep going. He is not done, but let me just stick to the topic. So basically, they acquired Jason Kidd, and how they did that was Jason Kidd was trying to get more involved with the Nets organization, but they pretty much were not having that. They were like, nah, bro, no, that's not happening, nah. So they did eventually let him talk to other teams, though, about, you know, becoming not just a coach, but involved with actual decisions. Hey, I want to make this roster change, that roster change. We need to do this with the organization, this with the draft picks, and that kind of stuff. So basically now he's more involved. He's not the GM or anything like that, but he's making decisions with them, and that's really what he wanted. I'm not sure why he wants to do that. I mean, hey, why not? Who doesn't want to make decisions? But yeah, so now he's been traded to the Bucks, and Larry Drew, the coach of the Bucks for last year and the coach of the Hawks for a whole bunch of years, is now out of a job just like that. Just the snap of your fingers, he's gone. And he didn't even get, like, no notification or anything. That's the way the world works, man. He just said, there's the door. Enjoy your trip. Thanks for the year last year. We got what we wanted. We tanked. We wanted to get one of these players. And, yeah, now you're fired. Bye-bye. Like, damn, this dude gets the rough end of the stick. That's just so unfair for him. Like, he did what they needed to do. They were not trying to win games last year. There were so many teams that were not trying to win games. And, yeah, he gets fired because of that, because they wanted Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd's got some, I guess, ties to the ownership and everything like that. I don't know how he actually is tied into them. And, yeah, now that's going to happen. So, pretty crazy. I even saw one thing that I thought was kind of weird. One source originally said, like, he would be able to choose, like, who he puts in the bench, including himself, which I thought was kind of crazy. Like, they definitely weren't talking about him playing, but they were talking about, like, I think assistant coaches and stuff like that, and that's kind of crazy, man. This guy wants to control everything, clearly. I don't know if Jason Kidd is, like, a control freak or something, or he just wants to be the boss, but he's getting it now, man. They're going to let him run the show, basically, as Brandon Knight can't knock down the wide-open jumper. They're going to need him to hit some jumpers, but I do think the Bucks are actually going to be a pretty solid team next year. Yeah. Earlier, NBA Live tweeted out how many wins do you think the Bucks will have. They had 15 last year. I think they could have 25 to 28. I really do. Nothing too crazy, but they could even contend for that last spot if they win, I don't know, about, like, what, 7 more games than that? Just because of how weak the East is. There's about 4 teams, 5 teams in the East, and then the rest, it's just a total crapshoot. I mean, actually, some of the teams got better, though, through the draft, so it's actually a little bit better now, but I don't want to put too much stock into the draft picks right now. I don't want to do that, but I mean, you know, you got your few top teams. There's Toronto, there's the Wizards, the Bobcats. They're getting there, but still, the East is not a very strong division, and I think they definitely, or conference, there we go, not division. But, yeah, I do think the Bucks will be better. I do think they'll win at least 20 games, man. Come on. If you can't win 20 games, there is really a problem, especially because this talent, the talent on this roster is getting a lot better. It definitely got better this year. You've got a lot of players who are developing. If you can't win yourself 20 games, we have a problem, Houston. And we get it to Jabari Parker right there. He does miss, but Brandon Knight somehow pulls down this rebound, like, out of nowhere. How did he grab that rebound over Nene? I guess that's just 2K14 current gen, man. It was wild, but, yeah, I think the Bucks are going to be pretty good. Let me know down below, how many wins do you guys think the Bucks will get? Do you think I'm over, you know, valuing their team and the talent they have, and they won't even win 20? I feel like they got to win 20, man. That just seems so low to me. But, yeah, I don't know. Let me know down below. There's still a few seconds left. You see, they got the ball down low to Booker. I'm going to try and get the block right here, but that is just a nice move. You can't stop that. But we got plenty of time to get one last shot, and you know who I'm looking for. The man they tanked for, Jabari Parker in the corner. I hope you guys did enjoy. Peace.